As it goes generally, I'm someone who likes watching the Ravens preseason. I enjoy getting a chance to see the younger players or the second tier players. And I find myself watching, expecting someone to jump out and make a name for themselves that a lot of people haven't been talking about. I'll do my best to refrain from saying this is just a preseason game and instead focus on just my initial reactions to it as a football game. There's no way the Ravens should be pleased with this performance on defense. The Ravens' defensive line was getting pushed around up front. The Ravens' lack of interior depth on the defensive line showed up throughout the game. I have to go back and watch the film to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw on the second drive Brent Urban and Travis Jones weren't much help in that regard. There were plays in the low red zone where they were getting pushed around as well. Would have been nice to see the Ravens offense get more opportunities. They managed to score a fourth quarter touchdown with about 5.5 minutes to go. And once again, the defense could not get off the field. I took some time off following football for the past month or so. So if someone wouldn't mind, put in the comments section where David Ojabo was tonight. I don't think he was on the field. Is he injured again? Couldn't find any information just in a brief search. Disappointing to not see him out there. Also disappointing not to see the fourth round wide receiver on the field. Nate Wiggins was very impressive in his debut. Certainly the story of the game is Nate Wiggins and his health. They took frequent shots at Nate early in the game, and he was up for the challenge. 3 pass breakups during the game. He wasn't perfect. He had very tight coverage, I think, towards the end zone. Could have turned to find the football as the receiver's helmet and hands were around. I also believe he's responsible for that touchdown, giving up and chasing inside, vacating his zone. Have to watch the tape to be sure, but that's the way it looked. But overall, really high upside with this football player. I'm going to go through some thoughts or some notes I made on the younger players, first and second year players. I was not impressed with Rasheen Ali in this game at all. But I was not surprised. Go back and watch the video that I made of him post-draft. At this point, Rasheen does not run with a lot of power. I don't trust him not to fumble the football. He did not make good reads tonight. Based on what I've seen, it's very uncommon for him to break a tackle or even juke in the open field. Overall, I was more impressed with the other undrafted backs. I thought Collier showed a great burst on a toss play to pick up a first down in limited action. I still believe Dalen Wade has a chance to make this football team. He did have a drop early, but picked it up late. Very impressed with the fourth down pickup. Again, go back and watch my Welcome to the Ravens Dalen Wade video that I made post-draft. That play right there sort of highlights some of the things I talked about. His ability to pick up things on the periphery as he's catching the football and make yards after the catch. I don't think this should be an indictment on Trenton Simpson overall. I need to watch more of how he performed in this game, but did notice on the second drive he bit on an RPO as he was being read, opened up the slant window behind him. Like to talk about 48, Joe Evans, the outside linebacker. Does show some versatility, was used dropping in coverage in the first half, looked comfortable in that regard, had 2 good rushes off the right side in the last drive of quarter number 2. In general, when coming after the quarterback, he does have a good burst off the ball, but he's limited in his repertoire as a pass rusher, and I do not trust him setting the edge. He has a bad habit of consistently dropping his eyes, dropping his helmet when engaged outside on the edge. Does not do a good job finding the football when engaged. As a consequence, he does not shed, finds himself very often a step or 2 behind the action. He is the sort of player that you root for, but right now I would not trust him to hold up outside as an outside linebacker. In contrast to Joe Evans, I would say number 68 looks like a Baltimore Raven to me. I think he's going to be a good football player in a year. He looks like the sort of player the Ravens like to move around inside, outside. To me, he shows good football intelligence. In contrast to Evans, again, he finds the football when engaged and reads the backfield action very well. I think he's the body type the Ravens look for or have been looking for, that Pernell McPhee type body. I think he's probably a year away, but I think he's a player the Ravens would like to hold on to based on just watching this first game. 68 is a player I wish to watch more closely for sure. Additionally, it was good to see Nick Samac get some run in the fourth quarter. Bump Cooper has a great name for a defensive back, number 31. He made a nice play in the end zone. As poor as the defense was in terms of getting off the field and giving the offense a chance to make plays, the offense generally did not do themselves any favor. Not a good day for the receivers in general. Josh Johnson on a snag concept at 241 at the end of the first half, underthrew the arrow route, an easy pitch and catch. They ended up having to punt the football. Noticed Ben Cleveland at center. That's interesting. Again, I've been out of the loop. Be curious to watch him. Same thing with Andrew Voorhees. I need to watch him more closely. I did notice he was pushed back. I think the second drive in the third quarter where there was a pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage. In general, not a good performance by the Ravens' second and third team players today. That, of course, is the caveat. Okay, well, the star players aren't in, but it is what it is. Not a good performance. Not a lot of depth on the interior of the defensive line. Haven't got a sense of the offensive line yet. Not sure what to make of the outside linebacker room. It was still fun to get home and have football to watch this evening, and we'll keep watching.